What's up, you guys? It's Devin from CenturyFX Studios, and we're back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 reasons why people are scared to shoot manual. Now, I get a lot of memes about this on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You know, everybody wants to be a photographer till manual mode, right? And a lot of people think that you're not a real photographer unless you're shooting manual mode. So, let's get into the top 5 reasons. Number 5 is quality. You might be saying to yourself, well, why would it be quality? Well, quality is a big thing. When people see you with a DSLR or whatever camera that you have, usually it's a DSLR if you're shooting manual mode. DSLRs are the most popular. I think even with mirrorless cameras, DSLRs are pretty much the most popular seen cameras nowadays. So when people see you with that camera, they think, oh, you put money and time and effort into learning and stuff like that. Well, you're going to have a high quality image or somewhat better than my cell phone. So I'm going to be using you, and that whole quality issue, you might be saying, oh, if I shoot manual, I won't be able to get the quality that they assume that I want to get out of this camera. If their cell phone is remotely as good as my camera, then I look stupid. I look like an idiot because I tried to use my camera instead of their cell phone, and their cell phone got a better image. So number 5 is quality. People are concerned that they're not going to be able to get the quality out of manual mode that they are out of auto mode or program mode or aperture or shutter priority or whatever face mode that you're using, whatever character mode that you're using or scene mode that you're using. So number 5 would be quality, and number 4 would be JPEG. Even though you know about manual mode, you're probably still shooting in JPEG, and you don't think that you're going to be able to fix anything that you've gotten wrong in camera. That's a big problem, because if you're shooting JPEG, you don't even know about RAW, then you might not even know the benefits of repairing an image that you might have not gotten right in the camera. And a lot of people think that photography is so easy when you have these big cameras with auto mode and stuff like that. Well, photography is not easy, especially now with the invention of smartphones. People think that photography is really easy, and we could just click and press. No, that cell phone's doing a lot of computational work that a real photographer, has to know how to do to use a DSLR like the one I'm using, the Canon 80D. And it's not as easy to expose for an image and get the most out of your image if you are relying on the camera to do everything, and then you move to a DSLR and you're still shooting JPEG, and the camera makes a little bit of a boo-boo in exposure because it's really baking in everything it sees, and it exposes different than the cell phone, and it can't expose for the outside as much as the inside, or the ambient as much as the foreground, or and vice versa. And you're being pressured because you're the guy with the camera, you're the photographer, you should know kind of mentality coming from people, and you're shooting JPEG and you can't repair anything, and people don't understand how hard it is to be a photographer and be able to compensate for everything that changes and to still be able to give you an awesome product. So if you're shooting JPEG and you don't know how to fix an image that you might have gotten wrong because photography is so hard, that could be another reason why you're not shooting manual, and you might even know the benefits of RAW. Number 3 would be knowledge. A lot of people who come from a cell phone, they either want to get in photography but think it's too cumbersome. I've heard that a lot. Like, they say, oh, well, I wanted to get in photography, but it was too much of a chore. I wanted to do this, but it wasn't, I couldn't get into it, or I couldn't get the images that I wanted to, or something like that. So the knowledge. And some people think that, oh, since I got a DSLR, everything's going to be great, everything's going to be good, it's going to be perfect. I mean, I paid this, $500, even if I put it in auto mode, it's still going to be better than a cell phone, and sometimes it's not. So a lot of people don't take in stride the knowledge, or they don't feel like they have enough knowledge, which leads us into our next one. Number 2 would be confidence. Even though you're doing all this studying about photography, photography is not easy, even if you do all this studying. So you always have to be on top of your game. You always have to be right. The exposure always has to be right. There's so many things that you have to get right. Emotion, expression, everything happens in the blink of an eye, and you have to be able to get it. Some things are slower than others. Some gigs are slower than others. If you're at a jazz concert or any kind of concert where everything you can tell is foreshadowed, like, I know they're gonna sit down, I know they're gonna get in concert formation, or I know they're gonna rock out on this song, or I know this song is gonna be good and they're not gonna move anywhere. That's perfectly fine. Photography might be easy for you, or you're photographing somebody doing golf. You know exactly what they're gonna do, when they're gonna do, and how things are gonna happen. Now, there are some things you still have to worry about with golf, like rolling shutter and making sure the golf club is nice and straight, and making sure that you can actually see the ball in the shot. There's some things you have to worry about with golf, but at the same time, there's a lot of chances that you're going to get where the image is going to be right on point. You can get a headshot of Tiger Woods or whoever you're taking a picture of, or there's a lot of different concepts. There's a lot of different things you have to worry about for each individual situation, and every situation is different. Every single environment is different, and every photographer has to account for it, so they'll give their person or their client or their friend or themselves a great product. And manual can really make you nervous because you got to make sure you set every single thing on that camera so it'll know what to do, because it's not thinking, it's not using its brain in manual. You're using your brain for it to get the right image. Number one is responsibility, and this kind of floats around all the other ones: number 5, number 4, number 3, and number 2. At the end of the day, you're a photographer, and most people will already tell you, they will already say before you get there, if you're either getting hired, if you have a big camera, it doesn't matter if you're hired or not. If you have a big camera, people are going to think, oh, well, you invested money. This picture should be better than any cell phone picture that I took. You have an awesome responsibility to get that image correct to a certain extent. It has to be high quality, high tier. And even though photography is more important than it's ever been, I think, in history, the camera is not as important as it used to be. The DSLR camera, the big camera devoted to photography, is not as important as it used to be. Cell phone cameras, smartphone cameras are now the most important type of camera. You have that responsibility to get somebody's precious moments. You have the responsibility to get somebody's birthday, their grandma's final birthday. You have so many responsibilities as a DSLR photographer, or baby's first moments. I see photographers that go around with real cameras like DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, go around from room to room to room in hospitals, taking pictures as the baby, like an hour after the baby is born. They come to knock on the door. They say, "Oh, well, I'm here to take your pictures." Well, I'm lucky. I got to my sister's son's a birth before that photographer got in there. Well, I'm not lucky. She knew I was coming with my camera. My dad was coming with their camera. But it amazed me to see that there was a photographer already ready, like an hour after he was born, to take his picture with his mother. Like, it's bang, 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 bang. It's almost worse than paparazzi. An hour out of the womb, and you're already ready for a photo op, right? So these are some of the things that people want to have security over, their responsibility.